Can you all see the cube? All right, so we're in
Yes.
Blender. Okay, so what I want to do is I downloaded a photo. I borrowed one, wine bottle. Okay, so I'm gonna go to the front viewport right here. So let me turn on screencast. Okay, so I'm gonna press number 1 here. Make sure you're in the front. Very important you're in the front viewport because this is an orthographic view. Okay, so let's talk about orthographic view here. The front orthographic is a flat viewport. If I press number 5 on my numpad, it changes to perspective. You see it right here. It says front perspective. If I press number 5 on the numpad, it goes orthographic. Okay. If you don't have your keyboard numpad, this is the button right here. If you click this button right here, it looks like it's a flat grid, and then it becomes like a 3D grid where it's kind of slightly offsetted or slanted. Okay. So a front orthographic or any orthographic view is a flat viewport, meaning if there's something that you're losing perspective, basically you don't have any perspective. Okay, perspective basically is there's a size difference, the way you perceive things, to very similar looking objects. So like this one, if I duplicate this cube and move it to the right, okay, since they're exact same size and they're exact same distance from where you are looking from, they're the same size. Okay, and this is in orthographic. Let me switch to perspective. Okay, all right, now you see some depth. Yeah, I kind of see a little bit of side right here, but still kind of like the same size, right? But watch this one, right? I'm in orthographic front, right? I'm gonna go to the top, number 7. If I move this cube to the back, okay, there it is. So it's a little bit further. If we were to look at it in perspective, this is the left cube, that's the right cube. Which one would be smaller for us, look-wise? Left or right? If we're looking at perspective from the front. We can take answers.
Right.
Yeah, the one on the right, of course, right? So if I go to number 1 here, which is the front, and I go perspective, there it is. It looks smaller, doesn't it? Because it's at the back. What we know for a fact is that's a duplicate. It's the same cube, agree? So that's using perspective, okay? If you change this to orthographic, you see it? Since it's flat, there is no perspective, folks. Even though this is 10,000 miles away, it would look exactly the same size, okay? So we work in orthographic and perspective back and forth so that we can easily see what's happening, because if you don't switch between orthographic and perspective sometimes, you will get confused. There'll be an optical illusion. Okay, so all right, so let me just get rid of that other cube. Okay, let's go back to our lesson here. So I'm gonna bring my finder, and I'm gonna bring my wine bottle photo. Okay, so I'm just gonna drag it into the screen like so. Oh, it says not supported. There you go. I don't know why I got that error, but anyway. So do you guys see this where I drag the photo into the screen? Do you guys see it?
Yes.
Okay, so everything's working. Okay, and I did this, very important, in flat front orthographic. Okay, watch this, same thing again. If I rotate my screen like so, let me delete that, okay? And I drag the exact same screen. All right, so it looks like it's correct, but watch this. All right, you see it? It's not flat to the view. You see it? So it would be very difficult for us to trace that wine bottle in the back if it's skewed like this. So it's very important when you drag the photo, you go to the front, orthographic, make sure it's flat, then you drag the photo in. Okay, then you can center this one using the grid lines. So that blue line, I'm just matching it like so. Because I just dragged this photo, there's no guarantee that this photo is actually centered, all that stuff, right? Another way for me to see the grid is to turn on my transparency right here, okay? If I have a center line on my cube, then I could definitely kind of center that using that line. But now we're just kind of eyeballing it. Okay, so it's right there. I'm not going to use this cube. I'm going to use something that is more, in line already what we're trying to model here, which is a cylinder. So I'm just going to delete this cube. I'm going to get a new object, mesh cylinder. Okay, so there's the cylinder. Okay, and then what we're going to do is scale this cylinder. And I have turned on my transparency here so that we can kind of see through it. Okay, I'm going to scale this one until I kind of get the diameter correct. I'm going to move it to the part right here where it's almost basically straight line, isn't it? So if I were to rotate this to show you, that's kind of like the beginnings of that one, right? You see it? Okay, I'm going to go back to the front. So I'm going to press number 1 or go to the front orthographic. Okay, so what can we do with this at this point? Well, there's still some parts here that are still kind of straight. So I'm going to want to manipulate this cylinder here so it kind of looks like that. Okay, so I'm going to go to my scale tool right here, and then I'm going to go to my z-axis, which is up and down. I'm going to scale this as far as I could stretch it without any curvature on the object. So there we go. All right, right there. It's starting to curve here and it's starting to curve here at the bottom, so I should stop. Okay, so it's time to go to edit mode and continue this one. So this one I'm just going to use extrude and scale. Scale, I'm going to be using my keyboard shortcut. Okay, S. Let me turn on my screencast right here. Okay, to actually do that. So first thing is I need to go to edit mode. Then I need to go select my face mode because we'll be manipulating the top right here, then the bottom too. So I selected the front. Okay, so I'm going to press number 1 to go back to the front. So I know the top one is selected. I'm going to press G here just show you that it's selected. There it is moving. I'm going to cancel that. So I'm just going to do transparency right here. Okay, I'm going to do extrude. So I'm going to press E to extrude right there. But you can see it already starts to go in. So I'm going to go, actually I did that a little too much. So actually I'm going to press E and up to there only. And I'm going to press S to scale. All right, so I'm just copying the photo here. You see it? Okay, I'm going to press E again to extrude. Then S to scale. All right, I'm going to keep doing this. Press E again. A little bit longer here because the curvature right there, I think we can get away with. There we go. And scale. Press E to extrude. S to scale. Press E to extrude. Maybe I did that a little too much. I might need it right there. So I'm going to click undo. Okay. Press E right here. Then S to scale. E to extrude, S to scale, and E to extrude maybe up to right there. S to scale. All right, this is where it gets a little bit tricky because there's that lip, okay? And I'm gonna do this as if I've covered the whole thing, like there's no cork in there. So I'm gonna press E, just a little bit, and then S to scale to there. Then E to extrude. E to extrude. I didn't scale. Notice that I didn't scale on that one. And I'm going to scale here. Press E to extrude. Looks like there's an upper lip right there, kind of like an indentation. So I'm going to press E. Okay, and then press S to extrude. I mean to scale, sorry. E right here. I didn't scale. I'm going to press E again. Right there. Okay. So if we take a look, so that's just E, S, E, S, E, S, extrude scale, extrude scale, extrude scale. We go to the bottom. Select the bottom piece right here. So I want to make sure. All right, there it is. Front again, same thing. Press E to extrude. Then scale. S to scale. Press E again. And scale. Press E all the way here, then S. All right, maybe I should have added one more there. Okay. So let me do that. I'm gonna do a scale right here, another E, and sorry, and scale. All right, and that's it. We have modeled this one right here. Okay, so what I can do now is set some parts here where we could do the label, right? So let's take a look. So we're going to introduce a new tool called Edge Loop. Okay, Edge Loop. This is the icon for it, or loop cut. The keyboard shortcut is Control R. Okay, so if I do Control R right here, where I position my cursor here, I'm going to see this kind of horizontal line. Whenever you put this cursor, it will want to cut on those. All right, so as you can see, I'm traveling the mouse cursor and it's just going all over the place. I just want it right here. So if I'm gonna go here and then click with the left mouse button and then move this up, I want to cut this where the label is. You see it right there? I'm gonna do another one. So I'm gonna do another Control R, or you can actually click that button. I just do Control R. Go right here, click, move it down, click with the mouse again. All right, so that thing is kind of bowing a little bit. That's because of perspective, but we have to kind of do a smart guess assessment here, where you would want to put the line slightly below where it curves and where it goes here. So I basically took a median guess right here where I put that one. Okay, the whole point for this is that we want to create kind of like a label separate for it. Okay, and I uploaded the video for this. It's the cat in the hat modeling, where you assign multiple shader for it. Okay, and let's take a look here where we might have a different. It looks like the label goes all the way up here. So I'm going to do Control R, move it down, cut it right there. Okay, so as far as the modeling is concerned, we are done. So I'm going to press Tab here to go to Object Mode. Select my background, and I'm just going to delete that. And this is what we have, a replica of that photo. Okay, so I'm going to select this, right click it, shade smooth. All right, everything is smooth except for the fact that it's trying to smooth out all those rough edges also. So in order for us to get those details while this thing is smooth, again, we have shade flat, which is the original, and that's what we want to see right there, but we don't want to see the vertical lines. So that's why we did shade smooth. So what we'll do is we'll go to our data panel right here. Okay, object data property. It looks like the it's like a green triangle. Okay, you will see normals, and then click on auto smooth. Look what it did. It kept the smooth lines, and then it kept our sharp edge right here. Okay. So we all need to see this in basically Eevee. So what I'll do here is set up some lights. Go to the front here. I'm going to get some area lights because those are always nice ones to use in Eevee. I'm going to turn up the, here it is. Probably put one right here and then give it 1,000 watts. So we could actually see. You can't see it right now, but I'm going to go to Eevee right there. There it is. It's starting to show. Okay, let me go to my modeling here because for some reason when I'm in layout, it freaks out. Okay, so I'm going to scale that light a little bit, duplicate the light. I'm going to turn on my screencast so you can see my keyboard shortcuts. Okay, so I'm just going to duplicate that light. I'm going to put it on the side, very similar to the lighting that we did with the rainbow ring. Okay, just so that we could see it. Okay, so there it is. I'm going to select this one, and then we're going to add a shader to this. Okay, maybe 1,000 watts is a little too much, so I'm going to go 500. Let's see here, 500. I'm going to go to what my camera sees actually. Just going to turn on some fancy lighting right there. Okay, so what we'll do with this is let's kind of simplify it. Okay, so I'm going to give it a base color. like so. Okay, we're gonna make it extra shiny, looking like glass. Okay, but we're gonna call this material now called glass. Okay. All right. Next, we're gonna add another material. This one will be the label. So I'm gonna click plus right here. It generated this new one, so I'm gonna click new. I'm gonna call this one label. And we're going to add another one. We're going to click plus. I don't know what you call this part. I'm just going to call it, I don't know, top. I don't know what you call that. Anyway, I'm just going to call it top right there. Okay. So the label, we're going to make sure it's kind of rough because it's supposed to be paper. And we're going to leave it as white. Let's make it a little off-white so that we know for sure that's the one. And let's say for the top, we're just gonna make this one red as if like it's like wax. Okay, make that a little bit darker, make it a little bit shinier. Okay, so we only have one material on this applied. Okay, and it's just the glass one, and it's not see-through at this point. Let's not worry about that. The lesson is to give it multiple materials. Okay, so if I'm gonna go here to the front, okay, I'm gonna hit object mode. To edit mode, okay, I do want to select all my faces. Okay, so I want to add. Okay, so I'm gonna go to my face mode right here. I'm gonna go to my solid mode so we can easily see this. So I selected the top one right there. Now I want to grow my selection. So this is this portion is really cool right here. Okay, so I mean you could spend all day doing Alt, click, Shift plus. I mean, it can be done, adding to your selection like so. Okay, but that's a lot of work. So if you select one, and then it's all equal going up or down, all you have to do is hold down Control, and then plus on your numpad. Then you can grow your selection. All right, there you go. So I got all that. Okay. Let me go back to, let's say, look dev here for now. Okay. And what I want is to select the top material that I added right here, and then I'm going to click assign. So that one, it's now dedicated to that. So we kind of have the same label, the top one right here. So we're adding multiple textures now to this wine bottle. Okay. Now let's go to the front. And I have my face selection still, so I'm just going to select all the areas here that I think would be part of the label. So I think it's fine right there. I'm going to select the label and then simply click assign. All right, and voila, there's our bottle right there. Let me just lower the power on this. So we can easily, looks like hot sauce than wine, huh? All right, so that lesson is also provided for you. There's one already. It's called it's modeling the cat in the hat, and I already uploaded that. I think it's already in there. So I'm gonna stop the recording on this.